We began learning this Maamar from Tovshin Mem Tes, Maamar for Shavuos, Anochi Avai Elokecha Asher Hotzeisecha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. The Rebbe begins by asking a very famous question, that why does Hashem start off the Aseret HaDibros by saying that I'm Hashem who took you out of Mitzrayim, and not I'm Hashem who created heaven and earth? It would seem that creating heaven and earth is a far greater miracle than Yetzias Mitzrayim. Yetzias Mitzrayim was just moving around things that existed already, splitting the water that was there. But creating Shemayim and Aretz, creating the heaven and the earth, is now that's really something, creating from nothing. And we began in Ois Gimel saying that we have what's known, that all of Torah is Torah Semes. All of Torah is true. So when we have a question in Torah, that's also a part of the Torah. That's also true. So the fact that we ask this question, that perhaps the Aseret HaDibros should have began with the Anochi Hashem Elokecha Asher Hotzei Asher Barasi Shemayim Va'aretz, so we could look at that as if it is the way that the Aseret HaDibros begins. And the fact is that the whole Torah Shebechsav, the written law of the Torah, the Chumash, begins with the creation of Shemayim and Aretz. And the Rambam, the Sefer Hayad, begins by talking about the creation of the world, how Hashem is only Atzmos, only the essence of Hashem is capable of creating, because He's the only thing that has no creator. He's always there. So it's possible for Him to create something from nothing. None of us, on the other hand, are capable of doing that. So we're going to begin from the second half of Ois Gimel on page Shin Yud. Ela she'af al pi chen haschala d'matan Torah b'gilui b'Torah shebechsav, despite all the things that we just said, that the Torah is Torah Semes, and since we ask a question, the great Torah scholars ask a question, that why doesn't it say Asher Barasi Shemayim Va'aretz, that I created heaven and earth? The fact of the matter is that it does start off with Matan Torah. It does start off in a revealed form, at least, with I am Hashem your God who took you out of Egypt. Ki achavane the brias ha'olam the Matan Torah hi b'shvil Yisrael, because the entire intent that Hashem had in creating the world and in giving the Jewish people the Torah was for the Jewish people. As they sollen durchgehen in the Mitzrayim miloshem meiser ugvul, that we should have to live through Mitzrayim, which is we should have to live through limitations and boundaries, and break ourselves out of that. We should be able to go out of those limitations. That's that I took you out of the land of Mitzrayim. Not just mi Mitzrayim, but I took you out of the Beis Avodim. At first, before you were slaves to the Egyptians. Shiyu mushlalim me'avdus lebasar v'dam ve'ezashehi, that it should be totally negated. It should be it shouldn't even come up as an afterthought, that a Jew could possibly be a slave to a person of flesh and blood in any way imaginable. Why? Because Kili b'nei Yisrael avadim, because the Jewish people are my slaves. Li la'atzmas u'mahus. When Hashem says they're my slaves, it means we're slaves of the essential being of Hashem. Okay. Ushtarai kodem My document came first. In other words, there's an argument about property, who owns it, so the decision is made. The psak can be based on whose document was first. And Torah came before everything. Torah was preceded the world. Even though that's talking allegorically, because before the world was created, there was no such thing as time. And Hashem he created time. And Hashem is totally beyond time. So when we say it was before the world was created, we don't mean that this many years before Hashem created the world, he created Torah. It means it's on a higher madrega than the world. ויש לקשר זה עם העניין שמתן תורה היו לאחרי שהקדימו ישראל נעשה לנשמה. We can connect this with the fact that Matan Torah happened specifically after the Jewish people said, first Nasa we will do, and then Nishma we will learn, we will understand what we're doing. But the first step is to do. Hashem, you say, you tell me jump, and I say how high. Even though the revelation of Matan Torah came from above, as we've said, Hashem says, I'm starting everything off, I'm starting the ball rolling. Before that, first there had to be, we had to say that we're ready. Hashem, you tell us to do it, we're doing it. We'll try to understand it later, but the step number one is Hashem says do it, we do it. Habitul Lebal Haras.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is Madrega a level?
Madrega means a level. Okay. Yes. I'm sorry for not.
No, it's okay.
Okay. And that's what we call Bittul Lebal Harasan. One subjugating oneself not just to Hashem's Ratzon, but to Hashem, who's the one that has the Ratzon, who has the will. Ratzon meaning will. Through this specifically was the Torah given to us. It was brought down, it was drawn down from Hashem's essence. Including also the potential that was given at Matan Torah. That Hashem said this lamer saying. Usually saying means to say it over to someone else. But all of us were at Matan Torah. All of us were there. So there's no point to saying it over to someone else. So what is that? That's an Esinas Koyach. That's giving us the potential to be able to do everything it says in Torah. Shebechol yom yu beinecha chadoshim, that each and every day, all of the mitzvahs in the Torah, all the study of Torah, should be just as it's a new thing. It's not something that we may allow to become mitzvahs anoshim ulumada. We may not allow it to become something that we just do mechanically, like brushing our teeth in the morning, but it must be something that's exciting every day. Now we begin Stalin. By Yomim Ha'el in this Karm Venasim, it says in the Megillah that these days are remembered and done. What does that mean? As a result of remembering them, through remembering the day of Shavuos of Matan Torah, on the day of Matan Torah, the 6th day of Sivan, so the same thing happens again. Yes, I'm sorry.
What was the answer of why we mentioned Yetzias Mitzrayim?
Because that's what the world was created for. The world was created for us, in order that we should be able to break out of all of our Meitzarim and Gvulim, and break out of all of our limitations, and become slaves to Hashem, and only to Hashem, not to a human master.
And therefore, by saying Anochi Hashem, by mentioning my Matan Torah, this idea Ayom Hashem took you out of Mitzrayim, you have always to go out of Mitzrayim.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Okay. So Hayomim Ha'elin Nizkarim V'Nasim means that every year on the 6th day of Sivan, by remembering Shavuos, by remembering the giving of the Torah, it's actually happening again. Shebechol shana v'shana chezrim v'nimshachim esam ha'inyanim k'mei shehayu b'pam harishona. Every single year, these things happen again, just as they did the first time they happened. V'yisera mizu, even more than this. Shebechol shana him b'darga na'lis yoser. Each year when it happens, it's on an even higher level. Why? Because malim ba'kodesh. With holy things, we have to be on the ascent. Everything is higher. So the first year when Hashem gave us the Torah, when Hashem actually gave us the Torah 3,300 some odd years ago, okay, that was amazing, and we were
trembling
and sweating and all of the above. But every year this gets greater because the holy things we have to do more and more every single year.
Then we felt it, like
we said we have to do it.
Then we saw the fire and the thunder, and we heard Hashem's voice. So it's a little bit harder to.
We have to. It was a lot easier then. Now it's a lot harder, but we have to think about things that bring ourselves to feel it.
Earlier in the Maamar,
is it possible for mere thought to bring someone to the level that actually seeing and hearing can bring them to? But
yes.
Like, can just thinking bring us to the level of the Yidden who actually saw Hashem descend upon the mountain?
Well,
exact
one
level,
thing
obviously.
that helps is learning a Maamar like this.
But
is
it's
learning about it
Mendel
and
Futerfas.
thinking.
Yeah,
He thought the letter literally actually got to the Rebbe. It wasn't some like, it was like it was. It's talked about all the time. The Baal Shem Tov, your thoughts are. It's brought in Chassidus all the time. Where your mind is that it really creates a reality.
Right.
It's not just some. It's not. It's,
it's not going to be exactly the same as that. That was a massive revelation. But
Right, exactly.
This is our Avodah. Our
We're
Avodah.
not going to get higher than that.
Our Avodah is not to do that, but the point is, it's even higher in, like we say, whatever. It's not time for that now.
In level, it has to be higher. Okay. The kivan shekol ha'inyanim tluim b'masenu v'avodosenu. Since everything that happens depends on our actions and our service, therefore, b'chol shana tzarich l'hosif u'l'halis b'kodesh. Every single year we have to add to this, and we have to elevate ourselves in the holiness. Gam b'hachanas l'matan Torah. Also in the preparations for the giving of the Torah. We have to start off getting ourselves ready to receive the Torah. Hasafa be'inyan dev'yichan loshen yachid ki'ish echad b'lev echad shehayu b'reish chodesh Sivan. On Reish Chodesh Sivan, it says that Vayichan in the singular, the Jewish people camped. It should be plural. Vayachanu sham Yisrael neged hahar. But it says that on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the Jewish people camped. In English, there's not an equivalent word, but the word Vayichan is he camped, and Vayachanu is they camped. There's not one word that would cover that, but that's the way it is, and that's what we have to. That's what we have to work on. We have to work on adding that to that each one of us should be like one person with one heart. Okay, the beginning with Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Likewise, with the hachanas, the preparations that take place after Rosh Chodesh Sivan, Shemiyad achar Rosh Chodesh, that immediately after Rosh Chodesh, his Chol Moshe l'sasek imoim b'inyan Kabbalas HaTorah. Right after Rosh Chodesh, Moshe started working with us in the how to receive the Torah, all the preparations we had to make. How much more so is this true regarding the saying Nasa before Nishma? That's the primary preparation for the giving of the Torah. Kamuvan gam mizeh she'achana zu dehakdames nasa l'nishma hi b'chamishi b'sivin shua erev shel shishi b'sivin shebei nitna Torah. We see it from the fact that when was it that we said Nasa before Nishma? That was on the 5th day of Sivan, the day Erev Shavuos, the day immediately preceding Shavuos. Okay, the day immediately preceding the time that we actually received the Torah with all the voices and the thunder and the okay. But who, and this is this means that throughout the day we must think about the idea of saying first Nasa. First we're going to do, as I mentioned before, Hashem says jump, we say how high. Saying Nasa before Nishma. His benenus and contemplation, meditation, hamasima, which is proper, which is fitting, shemivili de'poil, that could bring us to actually feel that, to actually feel that in ourselves. There's a story, a mashal, they say, about 3 generals that were together from different countries. Each one said that my soldiers are the most dedicated. So the first one called in the soldier and said, I'm going to give you one command, that's to jump out the window. The soldier said to him, sir, anything else I would do for you, but that I just can't do. The second general called in the soldier and he told them, I'm commanding you to jump out the window. Said to the general, sir, I'll do it because you said so, but I just want to understand why. Why did you say so? I could be so much more used to you alive than dead. So why are you asking me to do this? That's the one thing I'm wondering that I would like to know. So he also didn't win. The third one, the general called in a soldier and told him to jump out the window, and he also had a question. His question was, which window? Okay, that was the extent of his question. That's what we are. That's what we are like. That's Hakdamas Nasa Nishma. That's saying Nasa before Nishma. Okay. Hare Yedu Teres Kfei Kedushas Muchadmer. It's known, the teaching of the Rebbe Rayatz, of the previous Rebbe, Shebechag HaShavuos, Val Derech Ze Be'erev, Ume'ein Chag HaShavuos. And similarly, the day before and the days before Shavuos, and that's so similar to Shavuos, Ein Shlita Kol Kach Latzad Shekeneged. The opposition to Kedusha doesn't have as much power, as much strength as it would normally have. V'lachein, and therefore, huzman hamuchshir lasos hakol l'tovas limud haTorah v'avoda. Therefore, this is the most fitting time, the best time ever, to be able to do everything we can to make our learning Torah and our service of Hashem better than ever. There's Mishyesh Lamana Reitzah Masayim, someone that has $100 wants 200. When the Rebbe, someone that has 200 wants 400. When the Rebbe gave that as an answer to people, so he wrote Mi sheish lemanu, who has 100, Reitze chulu. Okay, the Rebbe wrote, etc. Why? Because it has to be followed by the 200, 400, 800, 1600. It has to constantly be, you have to constantly be wanting more. And that is not talking about physical things, that's talking only and specifically about spiritual things.
So, Rabbi,
Yes.
What's the reason that the power is weakened on that day from the other side?
The Rebbe quotes it from the previous Rebbe just as a fact. But I could see that because we received the Torah, we receive all this potential. We're finally receiving what our job is, and what we had been moving towards from the first moment of creation. We finally receive it, so we could see, have an idea how this is not how it would weaken the strength of the tzad shekeneged, of the opposition. Opposition sounds like it's a party of opposition, that it's like it's like a parliamentary debate, and the British system of government and the Israeli system of government. But that's, I guess it is, because we have to put together a coalition of good. The coalition has to be just good, Torah and mitzvahs, learning, davening. Okay. Move on b'pashtos, to continue, it's understood in the simplest sense of the word, the nosef la'chanas hanal sheshaychim layom shelifnei Chag HaShavuos, that in addition to these preparations that we spoke about, that are connected with the days before the Yom Tov of Shavuos, Maskil Mirosh Chodesh Sivan, beginning with the first day of Sivan, Tzarich liyos uv'mikol shchein hishtadlus miyuchedes b'negei l'inyonim hashaychim l'Chag HaShavuos atzmai. So how much more so do we need to work on the things that are on Shavuos itself? Maskil, beginning hishtadlus shekol echad ve'echad miyisrael, that the effort that each and every Jew, anoshim, noshim, v'tav, men, women, and children, yiu b'veis hakneses be'ez kriyas aseres ha'adibros, that they should be in shul during the time of the reading of the aseres ha'adibros, of the 10 Commandments. We've spoken a number of times. The Rebbe pushed this very, very much to get everyone. And many Batei Chabad have a second Torah reading on Shavuos before Mincha, a half hour before Mincha. They learn because, unfortunately, Shavuos usually falls out on a weekday, so it's not so easy for many people to make it to shul in the morning. But this way we give everyone the opportunity. Okay. This that every year on the Yom Tov of Shavuos, the Torah is given to us all from new, brand new, al derech Moshe haya b'pam harishona, miskala be'ikr b'akriya d'aseret hadibros. The fact that it was given as it was in the first time, the original time, with all the thunder and lightning and the roim es hanishma, we were able to see that which is normally heard, and we were able to hear that which is normally seen. The tremendous miracles that took place. So this is primarily revealed in reading, when we read the Aseres HaDibros, when we read the 10 Commandments on Shavuos. Maamar Chazal said, Omar HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem, said to the Jewish people, Bonai, my children, you Karnas HaParsha Hazes, you read this Parsha, B'chol Shana, each and every year, V'ani mal aleichem ki'ilu atem oimdim lifnei Har Sinai, and I'm going to consider it I'm going to count it as if you're standing in front of Har Sinai, in front of Mount Sinai, and receiving the Torah. Therefore, we have to listen to this parsha with fear and with awe and with trembling and with sweat. We have to realize how serious this is. As if we're actually standing before Har Sinai. That's one of the reasons of the great effort that's put into getting every single Jew, gam haktani, kitanim, or kitanes, also the smallest of the young children, boys and girls. You beves hakneses beis kriyas aseres hadibris, that they should all be in shul at the time of the reading of the aseres hadibris. Kimiduber kamapam barucha, as was spoken many times at length. Ulheisiv sheyesh tadlo shetaf you beves hakneses beis kriyas aseres hadibris, and to add to this, that this effort that we have to make, that the children specifically should be in shul at the time of the reading of the Ten Commandments, shayach gam la'achana de banenu arvim arevim bad sanu. It's the Medrash tells us how the Hashem asked us for security before giving us the Torah. So we said, what's the security? Okay, the avos, our forefathers Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, the Tanoim, the Amoraim, I mean, all of the great tzaddikim that lived, all of the Nevi'im, and Hashem wanted a guarantor, but He didn't accept any of these until we said that our children will be the guarantors. They're going to be the ones that are going to guarantee that the Torah remains complete and whole. Okay. Now the Rebbe is going to explain, Arvim, an Arev is a guarantor, but Sheesh Lemer Shekel Gam HaPirish, that it also includes the explanation to Arvim, Miloshen Taruvas, from the expression of a mixture. Shekol Yisrael Muravim Zebizeh, we're all mixed together. There's each of us are contained within the other. But Arvim Miloshen Arevis Umisikus, and we could also explain that it's Arvim from the expression sweetness, okay, pleasantness and sweetness. Shekol Yisrael Arevim Umisukim Zeh, that all Jewish people are mixed together with all the other Jewish people, and we're all sweet. Similarly, our good resolutions to add on to our Torah learning, Nigla de Torah Pnimius Torah, both Nigla and Chassidis, to the extent that we should learn so much, and we should also spread Chassidus outside. Okay, cold to a so-called outside. The fact is that we're all inside. We're all inside Hashem. We're all a part of Hashem. But the thing that apparently seems to be outside from our perspective. This also includes the ishtadlus, the effort to organize kinusei Torah on Isru Chag on the day following Shavuos, Isru Chag HaShavuos man matan Torah seinu b'yomim hasmuchim lezeh, or the days close to Isru Chag. Okay, the kinus Torah is a place where people get up and say Torah thoughts, Torah ideas, things that they wrote, that discuss the ideas from the Torah that that from their perspective that they put them together. Okay, Zman Matan Teresenu, the time of the giving of Torah, or biyomim hasmuchim lizeh, or in the days that are close to that, the day after Shavuos. And in 770, there was always, and I'm sure there is always, the day after Shavuos, a Kinus.
Just like after Pesach.
Okay.
My father
And
always
also
announced
after
it.
Pesach, after all the.
So it brings it down over here in 42.
My father always announced it for me.
Yeah.
Who's your father?
And as it said above,
His father's his father.
Every year we need to add to everything, to all of these things. Yeser says, Yeser us, with more strength, more might. Both regarding the preparations in the days leading up to the time of the giving of the Torah, and also regarding the good resolutions and the effort okay, that concern those things which have to do with the actual time of the giving of the Torah and the days immediately following it. And as we said above, every year we need to strengthen the preparations for Matan Torah. Certainly the preparation of Nasa preceding Nishma on Erev Shavuos, Validei Gam Ha'inyin the Matan Torah v'Kabbalas HaTorah b'Chag HaShavuos Hu b'Darga Nalis Yoser. And that way, our acceptance, our receiving the Torah, and our on the Yom Tov of Shavuos will be even on a higher level. But ad be'ein arech, it's going to be shalei be'erech higher. It's incomparably higher. But ad shebechol shana, to the extent that each and every year, Kol inyanim elu, all of these things, Matan Torah, v'Kabbalas HaTorah, the giving of the Torah and the receiving of the Torah, v'chein ha'achanos lezeh, the preparations for this, hem chadoshim mamish are mamish nu. B'frat b'shon ezu tavshin mem tes, erev shnas tavshin nun sheyesh loymar, okay, the year before tavshin nun, that we may say, it's possible to say, that Remez Rosh Tevis Teheshnas Nisim, that it should be a year of miracles. V'gam b'shon ezu, Erev Tavshin Nun, Toyimim Kvar Mea Nisim b'Tavshin Nun. Now, we're in the time leading up to the new year of Tavshin Nun, so we're able to taste some of the flavor of some of the miracles from Tavshin Nun that will take place then. Sricha Liyus HaChana B'Yeser says, we have to strengthen our preparations V'alidei HaSafa Midishana B'Shana B'Achanas L'Matan Torah, and through our additions each and every year for the Hachanas, the preparations for Matan Torah. Besides of Gam B'Inyan the Matan Torah, we add to what actually happens with the giving of the Torah here and now on the 6th day of Sivan. To the extent that it's a Hisafa, it's an addition that's Shaloi Be'erech, that's incomparable, and it's like a novel thing, something new that we never had before. The Gam She'ini de Matan Torah u'Be'ofen Shel Chidish u'B'meshech Kol Yimei Hashana. Hashem gives us the Torah every day, and every day it's something new. Like we say that it's each and every day it should be in your eyes as if it's something new. It shouldn't be boring. It shouldn't be something I did this yesterday. The main idea of Matan Torah in a totally new way. Hu b'Chag HaShavuos man matan Torah seinu. Is in Chag HaShavuos the time of the giving of our Torah. And we will pause for now and see a video from the Rebbe.
The Rebbe's quoting the Shulchan Aruch over here. That is Tavshin Non Taimim Kvar Me'anisim Tavshin Non.
Because in the Shulchan Aruch it says that on Erev Shabbos you should taste the food from Shabbos. So it's a spiritual tasting.
Yeshiva Torah Ohr of North Miami Beach.